a buyer are going to the listing agent, there's such thing as dual agency. But if you get a buyer's agent, that you sign a buyer's agency agreement, they are your advocate. And I would have to say that, are you better off having a buyer's agency agreement with a buyer's agent?
Where you can negotiate on behalf of
Yes,
the seller.
because if you have a listing agent that is negotiating both sides of the agreement, they have to stay neutral.
Yes,
They
yeah.
do
Do
have to
they?
stay, but.
Yeah, they do. They do. I've done it.
they?
Have you done dual?
Yeah.
Do you think
Yes.
most agents
have.
do that? Or do you think most agents
I'm
are more?
speaking
I-
for myself.
I could, for myself,
Yes.
yes.
It's
For
hard.
myself, yes, but but really, if you are buying a house, you should get a buyer's agent.
Yes.
Buyer's agent that is gonna advocate for you only directly. And that is gonna be your best
I agree.
negotiating position, basically.
I agree. I have my discussion with people that come in to see a listing of mine. I am very open with that dual agency.
Yes,
I open it up,
absolutely.
and not
You gotta tell
only
them.
do I speak to the buyer, I also discuss it
You
with the seller.
But
And I
you
say,
have
are
to.
you okay with this? I can do it, because I've done it plenty of times where I'm advocating for the seller and I'm advocating for the buyer, but I'm also in the middle, and I gotta know what I have to say and what I cannot be,
Well, listen, you gotta play Switzerland.
Yeah,
You gotta play
and
Swiss.
it is hard.
Yeah.
I have done it, but I would say, I've always asked, and I will not get hurt at all if you say, you know what, I'd rather have a buyer, and I'll have somebody in the office do
And we
it.
can,
Really?
we can recommend an agent to you
Yeah,
if
you can
wanna
do it
that.
in-house, which honestly would still be beneficial to them, because they can communicate faster with the other agent, or they can decide to go somebody else. But I would honestly say that I've never had anybody say no.
Yeah.
I've never
Right.
really had
Yeah.
anybody say, oh, because your honesty, I think when you're speaking, they will know if you are definitely working
True.
Yeah.
with their best interest, you know?
What is mortgage insurance and is it required?
So mortgage insurance is foreclosure insurance. Customers come in and they think it's disability or life. It is not. It's literally a ripoff for the customer because they get no value out of it. It's literally protecting the lender in the event of a foreclosure. That if they can't sell the house for what is owed, the mortgage insurance pays a certain percentage of what they take a loss for.
So it's not something you can drop.
You could.
When does mortgage insurance kick in? And what is it called? It's called PMI.
Yeah, well, it is PMI on a conventional loan, and it's called risk premium on an FHA, and with VA it's called a funding fee. So yeah, with VA there is no monthly, but you actually finance an amount on top of the loan.
Okay.
And with an FHA, there's an amount that's financed up front as well as a monthly amount. And the amount that's financed up front, if you pay the house off in the first 5 years, sell it, whatever, you get a little bit of that back.
Oh, great.
But the conventional version, that's the one that can come off at some point. So if you put initially 20% down, there is no PMI.
Right.
But if you put 5, 10, 15% down, every additional percentage you put down, it's cheaper per month. At the end of 2 years, and you reach at least 20% of the original purchase price, it comes off. You can update.
So you don't have to, do you have to alert your lender?
You have to request to have it.
You have to
removed.
request it,
does
so
not
it can
automatically come
continue
off.
to.
Oh yeah, they're gonna keep it on.
What?
It's
You gotta call the
protection.
lender. Yeah, you gotta keep track.
But that
of it.
doesn't go towards your payments at all. Oh my God, so you definitely have to remember.
As soon as you can get
So
it
how
off.
can you assess your house to be the 20%?
You can't, it has to be the actual, it's not based on current value, it's based on what the loan amount is once it gets paid down over a certain period of time. Like as an example, if you did a 15% down, it's approximately 3.5 years before it comes off.
That's interesting.
If you do 5% down, it's more like 8 or 9 years before you reach the 20%.
Wow. So do you see, how much is that a month? Is $100 and something?
It's based on credit score and down payment percentage. So there's a whole factor and chart that goes up. It's I couldn't even give you a quote.
So it's not even,
It could be $30 a month, it could be $380.
Really? So So I would never address that with the buyer. They should know that from the lender specifically.
Correct.
Like, how long will it take?
Right.
Is that something you guys discuss?
Right, because yeah, exactly. Like when they ask for, like, say, an estimated closing cost, because frequently buyers will say, how much of the closing cost when I buy a house? I usually typically tell them it's about 5% of the purchase price.
Okay.
Because when they say, well, if I'm buying a vacation home, I'm putting 10% down, well, there's another 5% for closing costs you have to allow for.
Correct.
And the PMI would all be part of that, that amount.
That makes sense.
Is there a prepayment penalty?
No, and that's another common thing in people that come from New York. There been prepayment penalties. It's one of the first questions they ask, and nowhere in Pennsylvania it is an outlaw. In Pennsylvania, you cannot have a prepayment penalty on a mortgage.
Okay.
Now, commercial loan, they do have prepayment penalties, but that's a completely different animal if you're buying a business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Typically, we do a 60-day rate lock, which more than covers the amount of time that we need to be able to get you to closing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does it get
typically what
extended
is.
at all? Or no?
What's that?
The interest rate lock, like for example, you're at that cusp of hitting the 60 days. Do you get extended? Can you extend it?
It
Or
depends on the type of loan and the type of the lender as well that we're putting it through. Sometimes they'll extend it for free for a little bit. Sometimes they charge something for 30 days. Sometimes you get
if that's it, you
worst-case
gotta
scenario.
close by this day, period. That's it.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
What is the minimum credit score that a buyer needs?
Typically for us, now every lender is different, but we go by a 580 minimum credit score.
Oh,
That for FHA.
Wow, okay, that's FHA, right?
Correct.
Wow,
And-
that's pretty good.
And they still, just 580 is not an exact cutoff, it's based on, they have to get approved through the computer. So you have to run through the FHA software. So everything kind of has to align, it's not an automatic, because I've had people that were 630 and they got denied.
Oh.
So if you keep getting what's called
Really?
a caution, yeah, because the score wasn't indicative of how bad the credit was. Yeah, believe it or not. And then the other ones were like, you had a 580 and they have no problem getting approved because it was maybe just a recent late.
Correct.
And they have credit cards maxed.
Once the buyer goes under contract, what do we need to keep in mind so we can get them to the closing table? What are the do's and don'ts that the buyer needs to keep in mind to get them to the closing table? Like,
Great question. I have them, when they come in to meet with me face to face, or even if I do an online application and I email it to them, I wrote up a 2-page.
2-page.
Yeah,
Are they checked?
No.
Like
But
checks and
I
systems?
literally
checklist.
wrote all these things on the 2 pages to
Great.
tell them what's going to happen next, what is to be expected. They'll get an e-signature from the lender, et cetera, et cetera.
Don't do this,
Do
this,
not,
and that.
exactly,
Yeah.
do not open any credit cards, do not
There we go.
go to Home Depot and get the 25% off for your appliances. They all laugh when I give them that. Don't go to Sears. And I tell them not to quit their job.
Don't withdraw large amounts of money or deposits.
Well, I
large
talked about, like,
amounts of
exactly,
money.
that's
Yeah.
the other thing that I discussed with them, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't put any cash into the account.
Unless you can
But-
verify what was for, right? Is that true?
Correct, you have to
a
be able to show
reason.
a paper trail
Yeah.
where it came from.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing about the job. I've had people that have quit their job 2 weeks
Uh,
before closing. They
why?
verified the day of, and
Right, and
people
they
were
think,
yelling at
oh,
me saying, I
everything's
told
okay."
you that. I said,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
never have told you it's okay. Here's a paper that I had you
Yeah.
sign that
Wow.
said, you understand
You quit
this."
your job. How are you gonna pay for the house?
Yeah, but
Oh
this
my
thing,
I'm
I
gonna quit
cannot
and move
tell you how
here.
many times. Oh, I just bought a car. Well, guess what? You can't close on
Right.
this house now.
Oh,
exactly.
It happens.
So I go through all of that with them as well as
Yeah.
everything else and what their expectations are and the time frame. So when I meet with them, I give them all the copies of everything they signed. I have those 2 pages where I explain it to them. I give them the mortgagee clause for the homeowner's insurance policy based on who the lender is, and I give them a things to do list. You brought this, but I still need this,
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 a
and this.
checklist.
And then when I hand it over to Marilyn and Roxanne, they will then go over everything and they might catch something I missed. And they'll say, in addition to that, Andy, you still haven't gotten this and this to me, we
Right.
also need this.
Right.
So that hopefully we get everything done when we send it to the lender, it's a full package that
So your
everything
team
is
is
there.
on top of it, working with a checklist, getting that buyer to the closing table, telling them not to buy that furniture, telling them not to
Right.
buy that car.
And we
Keep
follow
your
up with
job,
them.
and we keep following up. So you're working fairly close with the
Yeah,
buyer.
exactly.
Yeah.
When Marilyn says to me, they're not responding, then I get on the text
Yeah.
and start texting the customer saying,
Or
she's still looking
calling,
for this,
yeah.
exactly, what's going on,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Well, she calls them, but if they're not
Yes.
responding to her, then I send them a text on the
Of course,
cell
yeah.
saying, I'm still looking for this, okay, I'm not ignoring her or whatever it is. And in the rare instances, we'll get you involved, where I'll say, they're just not getting anything for us,
Yeah.
can you please get in their ear and
Otherwise,
maybe yell
we're
at
not
them?
closing. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
How can our buyers get in touch with
Here it
you
is.
to get pre-qualified? What is the
There it
best?
is.
Oh, that's another good question. So when I do the pre-qualification with them, I sometimes just give them our website and I
Ah.
text them the
link.
the link exactly, and we do a soft credit check. So most lenders do a hard inquiry, we do a soft credit check. So I can look at their credit, give them advice
And have
on
an
getting it
idea.
up, and it doesn't hurt them. They don't even know I looked at it. People on Credit
Great.
Karma do not get an alert because it's not a
Great.
hard inquiry. The only time we do the hard inquiry is when they come in to
Do the
apply
full
for the loan
application.
on the
Yes.
house. Then we
Yes.
do the full inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the website?
The website is www.abacusmort.com, ABACUSMORT.com.
Okay.
Or my cell phone is 484-695-5972.
Nice.
Great, all right.
All
So
right.
what are we gonna have in here next?
So
Who's our
next week,
guest?
you might be very excited. Do you drink their beer?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That's
Maybe
okay.
you can join
It's
us.
hidden in there.
Maybe you can join us next week.
So-
This is gonna be good. You're gonna love this.
Yes. So we're gonna have the owner of Down River Brewery, which is downtown Stroudsburg. His name is Steve Brancato, and I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to go in there and try some beer samples.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, we might need to
You should
bring
join us.
these.
You should join us.
You
Yeah.
should show up.
Yeah.
No, I think they're gonna be closed.
Yeah.
It's just us.
That's
Don't worry about
okay. We're
It's
gonna
just-
have some fun.
Are
And
they
we're
going
gonna
to be closed?
Yeah, for us.
But-
This is like a very
Yeah.
important thing.
But you know what? Join us. Come with us. You're not gonna want to miss this.
Yeah,
And,
it's great to
so-
live it local,
Yeah.
honestly. Yes.
So catch us the next
Episode.
episode on Pocono Works.
Woo!